Welcome to the Grain of Salt Podcast, Godzilla Singular Point, Episode 11. I'm Hank, and with me is Ben.
I'm tired.
Bones of Ben.
The bone, yeah, there it is. But I got coffee, so you know.
I mean, I'm tired on the other end, so don't at me.
Yeah, I was late. I was late this morning. My streak of waking up at 6 a.m. really took a nosedive, partially because I stayed up until like 2:30.
6 a.m., that sounds like about when I went to bed.
Yeah, but you're like, you're like an entity.
I'm like an entity.
You're on a. There has to be some sort of anime comic.
It's called a night owl. I'm a
video
night
game,
owl.
I
It's
suppose.
not that complicated. I just feel more comfortable if I'm awake when it's dark out.
See,
Morning, no good.
See, I definitely was that way for a while, or I thought I was that way, but like being up in the AM has been really nice. And that's a change for me.
Yeah, I've never felt comfortable being up in the AM my entire life, so.
Yeah. No, nobody is more surprised than I am by my transformation. Like I was fine staying up until 5 a.m. But then waking up at 5 a.m. to work at the factory, that was bullshit.
True.
Oh.
True.
Yeah.
Anyway, the reporter dude, is stealing the bones. He's just taking them away.
He's a bone thief.
He's a bone sconding with these bones.
He's not even trying to hide it. He had like 4 helicopters.
And he put those guys in handcuffs?
Yeah. I mean, I thought he was going to do more to him. I thought it was going to be worse.
Well, I don't know. It made more sense by the end of this episode.
Yeah.
This really felt like suddenly this guy's a bad guy. And by the end of the episode, okay, maybe he's just not.
He has shit to do. He doesn't have time to fuck around.
Because he's like presents himself here as like, yeah, I'm stealing the bones and I'm going to sell them.
Yeah.
And by the end of the episode, it's like, okay, he took them to like the other supercomputer. The one that's like where they're actually trying to stop the calamity and not just build better bombs.
Yeah. Or they're trying to like they're trying to stop the calamity, but they're figuring out if it's real first, right? Because like the one dude is like BB.
They have to figure out what the calamity is before they can stop it.
Well, yeah, but BB was like in this episode, he said something along the lines of like, if it turns out to be real, then yeah, we'll we'll address it. But it seems like he's still thinking it's not going to be an issue, which is fine, open-minded and all that. Good on him.
Plans changed.
Yeah. It's out of order, but holy shit, that egg analogy. Fucking
the egg inside the other egg.
All I could think about was why can't I think of the actor from Knives Out, the donut. the donut hole within the donut. It's like a donut within the donut hole. Just prime. So that was pretty good.
We got like a Matryoshka doll, but
I guess,
whatever.
But that's what I thought of.
Also, you're in Russia. You didn't think of the Matryoshka dolls.
Wow, that's racist. Wow, I can't believe you just rolled that out. No, I don't think of them because I only see them at tourist stalls and souvenir shops.
That's fair.
I was tempted. One anecdote, and we'll come back. I saw a Green Bay Packers Matryoshka doll at like this little stand, like just randomly. I was kind of tempted. Aaron Rodgers was the big Matryoshka doll. I forget who the tiny one was, but it was great. Like
It's just a second smaller Aaron Rodgers.
the big one is Aaron Rodgers with his mustache, and the smaller one is Aaron Rodgers without his mustache.
And then at the end, you get Aaron Rodgers hosting Jeopardy.
He hosted Jeopardy.
He was saying like that he wants to become the permanent host of Jeopardy as they were like going through.
Holy shit.
But like, it's unclear if he was just doing that to like fuck with the Packers because he's mad at them.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, he wants to be traded. He demanded a trade already. Oh, you didn't know?
No, dude, I don't get any sports news.
Wow, yeah, no, Aaron Rodgers wants to fuck. He like hates the Packers now.
Is it because they keep fucking up?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. Like, we keep doing well and then not well enough.
Well, and like, I don't know, somehow the thing of drafting defensive players every year is like, I don't know. Apparently, he's just like had it with the organization, is my brief understanding.
Oh,
for
nice.
like half paying attention to anything football and not watching any games.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't. Not a lot of outlets to watch football here. American football, anyway.
You have the internet.
It's true, but it's a hassle. Sports organizations don't like it when you watch their shit for free, apparently. Anyway.
That's not my experience, but
well,
so Godzilla fights Amanda, I think. He fights I think it's Amanda.
Fight is a strong word. Fucking destroys.
He gets bit in the face.
Okay, yeah.
And then he blasts the shit out of it. And also, like, the city he's in is now, like, completely apocalyptic.
Dude, it's just gone. It's just fucking done.
It's just, like, all the windows are broken, and it's just, like, so much shittier than last time.
No, like, whatever it was, Madra or whichever foe it happened to be, like, did the equivalent of giving Godzilla a little cut on the shoulder, and then Godzilla turned around and barrel stuffed it with a laser. Just close range. It was good though.
And it had all those rings. It was
solid.
Very good.
We got the wave. We got the little wave around, pointed at the camera.
It's true.
It was a good.
But that's kind of all the Godzilla actually get this episode.
Yeah, that's 100%. I was so hyped, and then nothing. They have to be building up. Like, they got 2 episodes left. I have high expectations.
This summary is the like one place I've been finding text summaries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the kaijuologist.com. Shout out to the only person that's been doing text recaps that I found. In one of his paragraphs just starts, I have a question. Does Toad just not like monster battles anymore? It's like he's just like so mad. Not enough Godzilla.
I mean, I feel him. Like, the build-up is totally fine, but I think once they revealed Godzilla and we got our laser blast, like, they should have layered it on a little bit more, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This episode was still fun. Don't get me wrong.
Look, I feel like it feels like a budget thing. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
It just feels like a budget thing. It's dumb because, like, I don't know. Oh, like, the hand-drawn characters that don't really move that much has to be cheaper than that CG animation. It just is. I don't know. I think that's part of it.
I mean,
Even though that CG's terrible, but I don't know. I don't know. There's so much Jet Jaguar, though. And he's all CG.
They could have just... I mean, think of the money they could have saved if they just made the same exact show, but it was puppets.
I mean, I'd watch it. I would be more excited for that show.
How would you feel? How would you feel if it was, instead of anime with shitty CGI, it was anime and then just puppets, like green screened in?
I mean, I would love it. I would frankly, I would love it. Love it.
That'd be pretty good.
I would be over the moon with joy. Don't get it twisted. That would be so good.
Imagine like the city getting destroyed, and then like in the foreground is puppet Godzilla like bopping around.
They could have like drawings of the monsters on popsicle sticks, and I would love it. Like they wouldn't even have to be good, and I would love it.
It'd be solid.
Look, I have watched an anime where they ran out of budget, and one episode was just the characters as drawings on popsicle sticks.
Oh hell yeah! Pretty spicy. I mean,
so.
No, go on. Yeah.
I was gonna get back to plot.
Yeah.
They bring May in. We get more confirmation about Dr. Lee being dead.
Nope.
Did you check up on it this time?
I mean, like she said, oh, we're replacing you because Lee is gone. And then they did the totally unnecessary flashback, which to me signaled more strongly than ever that she's alive. So.
Okay.
They wouldn't reference it again if she wasn't going to pop up.
Uh-huh.
You watched. We got 2 episodes. I'm confident. I'm surprised she didn't like roll out at the end of this one.
Yeah, so they say like, May, you're gonna replace her, and we don't have time to care about the catastrophe. And May's like, that's fucked. And then BB's like, you shouldn't cross her, but also don't worry about it because I've already betrayed her. We have to run.
Dude, it's so good.
Like he immediately goes from don't get on her bad side, just like go along with what she's saying, to like, oh, I already stole all but one of the orthogonal diagonalizers, sent them across the world to other places so they could use them if they need to, and we're out of here.
I mean, it's still solid advice. Don't cross her. Don't piss her off. I've already done that. We don't double down on it. It was real good though.
Man,
it was a great shift.
Yeah. And then like the other head of that factory is the one who like actually lets them out. So
yeah,
really they're just running away from that lady.
Dude, everybody hates her, and I'm all about it. She's the worst. Creepy dead eyes.
Just saying that because her irises are like whatever. The whites of her eyes are black.
They activate my fight or flight response. What can I say? I want to stab her. Sometimes it looks it's unnatural.
Maybe her eyeballs are just huge.
That's worse.
Some people come asking for the help of Jet Jaguar from like Cabinet Secretariat, and like they're like, nah, they already left to go fight Godzilla. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
they're on a boat.
So good.
We get a thing of like Jet Jaguar going like, I don't want to keep reading these messages over and over again. It's bumming me out, which I loved.
Yeah,
I love that. That just like, yeah, he's like a person. He's not. These AI are built to emulate the way humans think. So he's thinking like a human, and he's like doing this repetitive thing over and over again. He's like harshing my vibe.
Well, isn't his is like also a little even a little more so, right? Because there was like something after he became Jet Jaguar and he got in the body. They had like that little talk about humanity or whatever when he was looking at the sky. So I think
Yeah.
he's like even more so than like Parrot 2 or
Well,
whatever.
I mean, Pro 2 probably had a similar thing when he was gotten in his robot body.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
Like again, they learn through
yeah.
experience. So the more
Yeah.
they experience like freedom, the more they're like a brain is allowed to work.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. And this stuff is good lead-in for doing our Astro Boy, Pluto stuff.
Wow, spoilers.
I want to tease it because I'm hyped for Astro Boy.
I don't even know if I just know nothing about Astro Boy.
Yo, you know Mega Man?
Not really.
What if he had guns in his butt?
Okay. I mean,
Astro Boy,
that's
one of his moves is shooting. A gun pops out of his butt.
I mean,
Classic Astro Boy move.
you got the surprise.
1960s comic books.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So then, Jet Jaguar surprisingly shuts down.
How triggered
And
were
then,
you by the tiger burning brightly?
oh yeah, a little bit.
I could feel it when I was watching it. I was like, ooh,
Yeah,
here we go.
it's not even as much for me, but I have a friend who I want to recommend this show to at some point, and he kind of fucking hates that poem. So I'm like, oh man.
He hates that poem or he hates the idea?
He kind of doesn't like William Blake in general.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. I'm kind of. I don't know. I used to like that poem more. I've just heard it too much.
But
It's
I mean,
just such an obvious pull. That's really my problem with it here. Is like, I really
low hanging fruit.
like, yeah, like it's like the most obvious poem to pull, in terms of like, yeah, it's just over referenced.
I mean, they could have paired it with the lamb.
There's a part in here where like the person shows up with the orthogonal diagonalizer, and lady's like, "You're more of a Whitman than a Blake or whatever." Like referencing Walt Whitman and William Blake.
In this episode?
Yeah, it's like a one-off line.
I didn't catch that at all. Huh.
It's like it's a super random joke.
I don't recall it.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have noticed. Well, that's interesting. Okay. I pay attention. I don't play shit. Just to confirm, I don't do other shit while I watch these. I can't read subtitles and look at my phone.
Yeah, it's like halfway through. You seem more like a Whitman than a Blake.
Oh, okay.
She's just like, the dude gets out of a helicopter with an orthogonal diagonalizer in a suitcase. Oh, and also BB's thing of it was Lee's like last words that BB like pulled this shit. Like BB isn't just acting on his own. Like this was Lee left these instructions.
Yeah, it was like her last will.
Her last will. Interesting.
I mean,
Interesting thing for someone who's alive to do, Ben.
Well, I mean, last will in case they die and they think she's dead, so it all checks out.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure her being dead is part of this plan. Like faking her death. It's serving as means to an end. You'll see. You'll all see.
And then they talk about how Aladdin is from China, and it's a French story.
Yeah. That was that true?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I saw it in I saw it in Godzilla. I'm taking it at face value. So, the runes that they were at. Why do I constantly Sangula? Sengula? Is that right? That creature?
Sangula? Yeah.
Sangula.
Yes?
I don't know. The ugly thing.
I don't. I feel like.
They said he crawled out.
I feel like you're
of there.
pronouncing it weird. Say like you're.
Sangula? Sangula. 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 Anyway. Ugly.
Salunga.
Salunga.
Got it.
Fucking
I got it.
vowels.
Apparently, according to a quick look at Wikipedia, the Aladdin myth might have been added by a French dude to the Arabian Nights.
I mean, sure, but is it a Chinese tale originally?
That I don't see.
Yeah, see.
It sounds like it's Syrian, or that's where he got it from, Assyrian.
I mean, that stuff. I would hope that like they had a source for it, but ever since
Yep, he's an impoverished. One of the character is from China.
Okay. I mean, that's fine, as long as there's some backing for it. I had a professor that wrote. It was for my writing and more specifically poetry class, and the professor showed us some poem she wrote, and it was about how Cinderella was originally, it wasn't a glass slipper, it was a fur slipper, and the whole thing was an analogy for a vagina. Like, a quick Google search nullified all of that. Like, just an annoying poem from an annoying person that was also based on lies.
All right. Well, at least what this Godzilla anime is telling me, at least it probably came from Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's all I need. That's all I need, dude. My soul is at rest. Look, if you can't trust the information presented in a Godzilla anime, who the fuck can you trust anymore?
Particularly when you're being told something by a character who's a known liar.
Yeah, but he wouldn't lie to me.
He wasn't talking to you.
Well, he wasn't, but you know, it's the spirit of the thing.
What? Okay. So yeah, Jet Jaguar shuts off. He starts upgrading over and he gets endless updates.
551 reboots.
Oh no, he's connected to the future internet for the first time. Wow. Oh. It's like buying a new console.
I mean, that sounds like a nightmare. And then
getting all his PS5 system updates.
Ugh. Yeah, the day one patch.
I like at a point they're like, yep, he's rebooted 551 times.
It's too many times. It's too many. I'd be done. Like,
and they talk about how like the signal he's getting could be very simple, but it's like pointing him to. Then it's like a.
Yeah, we got our
or whatever
our Bible analogy. Like you can condense the Bible into just the word Bible.
Yeah.
I fucking love analogies, dude. Like
I mean,
I get like
It's
everything they're
it's a
talking about.
particular brand of sci-fi storytelling.
Yeah. We're talking about concepts that are way too weighty to just talk about. So we got to compare them to.
It's classic hard television sci-fi.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my preference is that I wish they would just dumb it down in the first place. A little, or reveal more of it. I don't know. It's fine. Like it doesn't bother me.
In
It's just not my preference.
In terms of now, like the greater scope of the show, there is too much exposition to action. Like the ratio is not correct.
And
But
see, like
I'm not that bothered by it either.
yeah, I still wanted, like, I was really hoping that all of the exposition, like, leading up to these last episodes would pay off with a shitload of action. And then it would have been a little more palatable. But at least it's interesting exposition. Like this episode felt much better than the last one, I think, because like things are starting to move a little more. Episode 10, like it was rough until we hit Big G.
I don't even remember what else happened in that episode at this point.
It was boring. It was just so much garbage. And then a fucking city got destroyed.
That lady tried to steal her bag. What are you talking about? Boring.
Oh my god.
Our character is sitting there completely oblivious to the fact that her bag and then her robot dog have both been stolen right from under her nose.
They could have taken all of that budget and thrown it towards like a different, like 8 billion CGI characters, apparently, is how much they cost. They're cheap. Anyway. It's fine. Like I
get a
I
little
like
action where like a Rodan shows up and Jet Jaguar like jumps on it and briefly rides it.
Dude, I was so hyped, and then he just stabbed it. But I was like, holy shit, it's happening.
And he walks to shore and goes back to upgrading.
Yeah, it was like they said it was like a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, like.
And then we get adorable Jet Jaguar PP.
We get newborn Jet Jaguar.
It's so cute. He was so cute, babe. Dude. Look,
he didn't know math, and then he did know math.
And then he knew a lot of math.
He knew a lot of math.
I mean, I
like when they ask him, do you know why you need to go there? No. It's like, well, how are we going to find out? It's like, I know now. Like 1 second later.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's like, I don't know what I have to do. Oh, you don't? Nope, I know now.
Wait, got it.
Yeah. He's got a location he has to go to.
I would buy a plush Jet Jaguar with like a newborn Jet Jaguar thing. It's so cute. It's so cute, dude. Yeah. Little chibi Jet Jaguar with a big ass spear. I'm down.
I prefer Wii Jet Jaguar, but that's just me.
I mean, there's room for plenty of merchandise.
And then May, BB, and BB's daughter, whose name I don't know, compare to. They walk down to where Ashihara found the bones in the first place, and there's a little cave bridge, and then they find a underground red lake with a little motorboat, and then they drive up to one of these supercomputers that
is that where he found
had.
I thought it was just where he found the singular point. I didn't think it's where he found the bones.
Well, the bones are the singular point he found.
Right. Okay. I guess I know they talked about that last episode. I guess I just assumed this was a different thing based on the story about his village or whatever. Okay. A lot of points and lines and singular things that
People
aren't
say a lot of things,
singular.
and some things are the same as other things that have the same name. That they
Yeah.
also referred to as being like they're unique, but they're not. Like orthogonal diagonalizer.
You know what I'm
They always refer to it as like a thing, but there are like 20 of them or whatever.
You know what I just thought of?
What?
How fucking much they talked about archetype, like explaining how it works and everything.
Yeah.
And like they could have just not. It doesn't
Yeah, I mean, yes.
It doesn't mean anything right now. Maybe there's another reveal or something, but I'm just like, could I understand what's going on without knowing all this bullshit about archetype and
you
Jello?
wouldn't know how the supercomputer works.
Who fucking cares? They could have thrown it away as a line.
Now you're just understanding why exposition in fiction is bad.
I mean,
unless you're like, I don't know,
Hank,
like a super nerd.
I like to live in the moment. So I'm looking at what's happening now. I don't look back at how many hours of my life have been wasted listening to stupid, pointless exposition, but now I'm doing it and I'm upset.
I think you just like said I don't do this thing that I'm doing currently.
I don't do it often. I'm usually
Gotcha.
just along for the ride.
I'm sure. You're not usually podcasting episode by episode of the TV shows you're watching.
I mean, yeah, this is a first. This is an absolute first.
It is definitely a different experience than like binge inhaling a show.
Mm-hmm.
When you like actually spend the time talking about it with somebody.
Or even just, I mean, like how I've been doing Star Wars Bad Batch. Like that's episode by episode, but I'm not talking about it.
Yeah.
And like I stay away. I think I saw like one Reddit discussion on it. I bailed. I don't want that. It's too I don't want to overanalyze that show. Go figure.
That's fair.
Not that this is overanalyzing, but I'm definitely taking a more I'm definitely taking a more in-depth and critical look at this than I normally would, like before I'm done with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel it feels like compared to most people I know, maybe not Anya, but like you and other people in the Discord and some of my other friends, like I'm not too critical of movies. It's more of a binary and shows. Like either I like it or I don't. I don't usually dive too hard into shit. Though it is fun to bitch.
I like the taking a thing seriously, even if it's garbage or like pop art or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I like talking about stuff. Weird.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Doing a podcast. I like talking about stuff.
Shocking.
I don't like talking about anything other than media, but like, don't at me about the weather. I don't know.
I mean, I got some.
I'm bad
hot
at small
takes.
talk.
I got
I'm
some
just
hot
bad
takes about.
I'm not as good at small talk.
What if
But
someone
you
talks
talk about a piece of media that I have consumed? I can talk.
What if someone talks about the weather, but in comic book terms? Like they're like, "Man, have you been outside today? It's like that time that the sky was on fire."
I could talk about weather strategies in Pokemon.
No, it's for what was which?
I've been using Torkoal with drought to set up
It's
my
we had
my Charizard and Venusaur.
we had the perfect anecdote in our comic episode. Like it's like was it a Watcher who said the sky was on fire and everyone thought it was the Human Torch?
Yes.
Yeah. It was a
And
watcher,
then
right? Am I getting that correct?
Uatu.
Right. Yeah. Man, it's like it's like Watu set the sky on fire. Am I right? Hot out there.
Oh, he's right.
And if it's hailing, you can be like, man, it's like Watu turned the entire sky into an asteroid field.
Just always blame it on Uatu.
I mean,
Anyway.
I'm always down to do other things as well, but I have enjoyed our kind of turn into a media podcast, even though that's primarily what we've been.
It's always what
just,
we were.
But like, I don't know, it feels more solidified somehow. Like,
You're crazy.
yeah, I know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Like we did that football episode.
Yeah,
But that's
see?
also
See?
media. Football is also media.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's maybe in my head I was like trying to think of like other stuff or stuff that's a little outside the box, sort of.
Oh. Talk about other
But-
stuff on your other podcast.
Well, yeah,
Not
that's
this one.
because we just turn on the mics and talk.
Yeah.
If we did that on this pod, I mean, we have done that on this podcast. It's every Magic episode we've done.
Yeah. But I'm not, because again, I'm not capable of like, I have to talk about a thing.
Yeah.
That's just my limitations as a human.
I mean, it's easier in its own way.
I mean, it's good for podcasting.
It's and like as I've
Got
said,
a topic to talk
I-
about.
like I've
It's
been
bad for being at like a social gathering where you don't. If you
I
don't
mean,
know
yeah,
people.
I can see it, of course, but like, I don't know. For me, like that'd be if I was like not talking to anybody and I didn't know anybody, and someone came up and was like, "Yo, you
Oh,
watch
see,
any
I'm
movies
never. I'm
lately?"
also not. I'm also too introverted to start a conversation about.
Oh, I'm
a
not
thing with
starting a
someone I
fucking
don't
conversation.
Know, so
I don't want to talk
Yeah.
to someone. I already know enough
yeah,
people.
not. I'm not. And in fact, if someone just came up to me and started talking about their media they like, I would hate them. So
Well,
That's a-
yeah, no, obviously, but like, if it was I mean, it's the hypothetical situation that'll never happen, right? Like, if you are somewhere where it is beneficial to make small talk and someone's talking about movies, that's better than trying to talk about like other shit, right? Potentially. I mean, it's better than someone coming up
Potentially.
and like trying to talk about immigration. Like,
sure. I feel like in general, talking about sports is like the easiest one for me.
oh yeah,
That has gotten me through the most in life.
that sounds as someone from
My
a
ability to
rural
talk
area.
about sports is like, moi.
when I finally started paying a little bit more attention to football, my ability to navigate a conversation with random people like skyrocketed,
Yeah.
because every fucking person in Wisconsin for the
I mean,
for the
hell,
first
hell,
time.
forget random people. Like, it was like the first time like I could relate to my dad. Like, I felt like a human. Was talking about baseball with him.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, the media is good though. Been a good. It's a
Yeah,
good
sometimes
time.
it's terrible. I've been looking up stuff for Venom Night. Those comics are bad.
Dude,
I love them. I love them so deeply, but they're all bad.
I mean, a little bad is fine.
They're really bad.
Sometimes, if there's
Uh.
something good, you can put a train wreck with it to highlight how good the thing is. Hey, I've been destroying my own movie night ideas, so
That's fair.
like I really thought, I truly thought that heavy metal horror would be
Mm-hmm.
more palatable. It's not. At least not the way I want it to be.
Mm.
Even people like specifically recommended heavy metal horror films from Reddit and like other forums. Like, there's no. What are you guys doing? They're out here recommending it because it's the only shit that exists. That's a no go. Just crossed off. Unless you
All that's in my brain
know
now
stuff.
is this awful drawn panel from an end of a Venom comic that's of a bunch of cops, and just one of them is saying, "Venom is that Venom sure is an enigma."
Oh, that's pretty good. Oh. What year is it?
These are all '90s Venom comics.
Oh, okay.
It was probably the problem. '90s Marvel, not the best.
Oh yeah, would that like? I
Well,
mean,
they
is
went through
that?
bankruptcy.
I was gonna say, is that because of like the big comet crash sort of thing? Is that all related or unrelated in this case?
It's kind of related. It also has to do with they were run by a toy company. The guy who
Gotcha.
owned them under toy company. So they kind of just ran stuff into the ground. I don't know. Also, like, just the art in all these books is like so inconsistent.
Yeah, that'd do it.
So like there are '90s comics where the art is good, and generally these Venom comics are not those.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, okay, I have to show you the cover of a Venom comic I owned when I was a child.
Did you love it or not?
I mean, it's a Venom comic, so I loved it.
Okay.
But not in that way though. Not in the way that you might think once you look at this image that I'm sending you.
I I love it. All right, so we found one of the things we're going to read for Venom Night. Confirmed. Nice.
What if Venom had tits?
What if Venom was a? What if Venom created fear boners?
Yeah. It's Eddie Brock's ex-wife.
It somehow makes it worse. Now I feel a little bad.
It's such a weird thing. Like, she's a big character in his stories, and he's like weirdly possessive of her, but like she's his ex-wife the whole time.
Ugh. That was gross.
And she's like, "No, stay away from me. You're terrible."
Ridiculous. I mean, this is
Comics
actually,
written by Larry Hama, who
I don't
created
know.
G.I. Joe.
That
Or wrote,
doesn't help.
I think he created Joe. He wrote the whole original G.I. Joe comic run,
I know
which are good
fucking
comics.
Nothing about G.I. Joe. I know that he's America's action hero.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him.
I
They
don't
had
think
those-
G.I. Joe is a character. I don't think there isn't a G.I. Joe. It's a group.
No, G.I. Joe is a popular action figure. Or
I think that's like
no?
calling Master Chief Mr. Halo.
No. No, G.I.
Hold
Joe
on.
is like the.
Hold on,
is like
vamp for 1 second. I have to be right back.
Okay, all right, I could do that. Anyway, I was gonna say the Venom coverage showed me with this tittied up Venom is like, and he loves it, but not in that way. That's pretty much how I feel about the 2007 Beowulf movie. Like, you see Angelina Jolie as Grendel's mother. I love it, but not because it's good. And I mean, she's hot, sure, but I mean, flesh heals is a cursed concept, and just a weird take on things, I suppose.
I'm back.
Nice.
Sorry.
I
My
talked-
phone was beeping because it was running out of battery life and it was going to drive me actually insane.
Gotcha. I talked about how my feelings for 2007 Beowulf film. You know, there's a Angelina Jolie is hot and in it, but I don't love it for her being hot.
Sure. Yeah. The thing with looking at like these old Venom comics and then presenting them to someone new is like, I only really have one issue that does the thing I love, which is coincidentally like the first comic book I ever had.
Nice.
Which I think Venom's a good villain for Spider-Man, but Venom as like the main character, which is this is what that movie's about too. Like those comics are pretty bad because they don't commit to the, like, he's so wishy-washy. He's like, I don't murder innocents, but he murders shit out of everyone else.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird. I don't know. And he's like weirdly judgy to other people.
I mean, that sounds right.
Like he's kind of a, like, Eddie Brock sucks. But like, so like then like the good Venom the really good Venom comics come later when like barring like I'm like behind on new stuff that's been doing with Venom, which is a lot. There's like a whole Venom event happening, the King in Black. It's like crossing over with every title or whatever.
Oh shit. Is Spider-Gwen there?
It's probably involved. Almost certainly. Because again, Spider-Gwen, a better Venom than Eddie Brock.
Ooh, it's so cool. It was such a cool concept.
Yeah, and then Flash Thompson becomes Venom, and he becomes Agent Venom. And those comics are just way better than the 90s Venom comics. Like, they're just much better written. So, but that's like it's like not real Venom either, though.
Yeah.
He's like using guns, which is funny, but and has an alcoholism problem, which is less funny.
Yeah. A little much.
Yeah, but it's like that Eddie Brock, like seeing a person doping, he's like, oh, getting real judgy about it. Stay off smack.
I mean, that projection though.
Yeah. I don't know. There's like a lot to pick from, but also not a lot to pick from, I'd say.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm gonna pick out. Also, like a lot of the series, they like all peter out. Like they just like fucking end, and then it's like on to the next thing, and they don't really ever hit you the way you want them to.
Gotcha.
Is the other really annoying thing.
Yeah.
Like there's a Venom Hulk one shot, but it's so not what you want at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's Smart Hulk anyway.
Oh, lame.
Lamest Hulk.
Yeah,
So yeah,
we'll figure it out.
thinking about it, because Venom is definitely the thing that is qualitatively the worst relative to how much I love it. Of like things I love, I would say, like my love for it is like unconditional, and I also think it's like actual garbage. So, uh, uh,
Yeah,
uh, that's hard. That's hard to share. That's hard to want to open up about.
I mean, to be fair though, like I haven't
Yeah,
I haven't experienced enough of like anything to except music maybe, but like comics, movies, shows,
yeah,
I haven't taken it enough to be like, wow, this is terrible. Like it's all new at the very least.
sure.
Like even the last comics we read, like the old ones, like I didn't love them. They didn't seem
Mm,
great, but like they were fresh, and I never, reading comics like that is a new thing for me, so
sure,
it's interesting at the very least.
sure.
It would have been more interesting had I read the most important one, but
Yeah. Whatever. I have that
Oh.
top of the list for next time we do a selection like that.
Yeah, it will all
And then we
come
can also
together.
do the Spidey Super Stories version
Oh God.
that I realize exists. I don't think there's any Spidey Super Stories with Venom because they predate Venom existing.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking if I should make you watch the 3 episodes of the 90s Spider-Man cartoon where Venom comes in.
Sure.
That show's also rough to go back to.
I mean, I wouldn't be
Because
going back though.
I just mean like watching it today because it's like, how about you watch this cartoon where the frame rate is bad?
Oh, see, that doesn't bother me.
Like up and down. Like this scene will be really fast, and then this scene will be weirdly slow. It's like
Nah,
weird, like fucking weird.
that doesn't bother me. At
Okay.
least thinking about it, like knowing full well how awkward it'll be. I think that's
Sure.
okay. I'm
Sure.
not too sensitive to that shit. Like
So
even
probably.
I know
Mhm.
like I can't remember the acronym. ADR, the audio shit in movies.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't bother me too much. Like, you're far more sensitive to it than I am.
Oh yeah.
Like obviously like maybe no. Uh bless it. Um had a lot of other shit going on, but like when you mentioned the ADR and everything, like I did not notice that too badly. I noticed the like dubbing obviously, but or I think some of the westerns had it, and there were parts obviously where it was noticeable, but
Yeah.
you pointed out some that I didn't catch.
Mm.
It's whatever. It'll be
Yeah, the
fine.
westerns where they just didn't record live audio basically, and
Yeah.
everybody talked in their native language.
I was so disappointed. I mean, not disappointed. I understand. In King Lear, there's like a moment. Well, when he's in the storm, right, and he's
Mhm.
like yelling, and it was such like you could. It was so well done, but I think it looked like they actually put him in a storm. Like if it was fake, it was very well done. I thought he was just out in the shit. And
What
it was
movie?
all recorded in the studio, which was kind of disappointing, but
Yeah.
I understand that it would have been a nightmare to get that to
Yeah.
sound good.
I just
Oh
will
well.
forever remember like that because they filmed that '98 American Godzilla movie in my neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
Um, and there was like actual storms going on when they were trying to film it, and they kept having delays. In that whole movie, it's storming, but they had to delay shooting because they needed fake storming.
Yeah, yeah.
And real storming, that's just unreasonable. Like, you can't have it actually raining. We have to have these actors standing around under umbrellas while, like, we set up a fake shower above them. That's how movies are made.
Disgusting.
This is funny.
Yeah.
The real thing is too intense.
Like...
I mean, it's harder. It's more difficult. It's more unpleasant working conditions.
I mean, when has that ever stopped any good movie director? Actors are like cattle.
That's what I'm saying.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Gotta.
No.
Good films only happen.
I would not emulate Alfred Hitchcock's approach to his actors.
What? You mean sometimes just actual abuse is bad? For working
Getting
conditions?
weirdly possessive of your female lead? Being mad when she decides to go have kids? Yeah, maybe not.
I mean, maybe she shouldn't have been such a bitch.
And then being like incredibly controlling of your next star. And like ruining her career after you make her career.
Alfred Hitchcock is rough.
I mean, plenty of
Oh yeah, no
men with power.
Yeah, that's
Guess what? Power corrupts absolutely. Not
oh shit! Look at Ellen.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of her the other day, and I still think of Ellen, like from 20 years ago or whatever. So having paid zero attention to her for what should hopefully be obvious reasons for the last 2 decades, like seeing an actual picture of her now, like kind of the Darth Sidious effect, like from episode 3.
Like she liked to hang out with George W. Bush.
I mean, we can all be friends, even though some of us are terrible people. Why should that stop you from having a friendship?
I have reasons.
Hank, if I was a war criminal,
I wouldn't hang out with George W. Bush. That's all I'm saying.
But if I turned out to be a war criminal, that wouldn't stop our friendship, would it? Right?
I think it would.
Aw.
Gonna be real. War crimes, no good. No good.
Yeah, shocking. Can't
Almost
imagine.
like
It's a weird shit. You know,
the world is a strange and terrible place.
I'll
But what if it had Godzilla in it? Would that be worse or better?
I don't mind.
It would be
war
worse.
Crimes. I don't mind war crimes if they're being committed by an unstoppable entity of unimaginable power.
I don't mind war crimes if they're being committed by a fictional, unstoppable force of power.
That's true. Okay, I mean, look, if Godzilla,
like, I'm not like really into the war crimes committed by hurricanes or volcanoes.
Well, yeah, but you can't like. You're not going to be friends with a volcano.
It's true. I'm not gonna be friends with a volcano. You got me there.
You're not gonna go to the game with the volcano. Oh.
All right. I think that's a podcast.
Hell yeah.
saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Salt Circle Pod on Twitter. Our episodes are hosted at anchor.fm/saltcircle, and you can find us on all the podcasting apps like Apple and Spotify and whatever, wherever you're actually listening to this. And I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels.
I'm not on Twitter, but I am looking very forward to the last 2 episodes of Singular Point. Pumped.
Yeah. Jet Jaguar should do a thing.
Dude, he's gonna do a thing. He might ride Godzilla briefly.
Seems like they're leading to him doing a thing.
I'm stoked.